Welcome back. The great reveal is upon us. The very first hand of Omaha 8, Decide Your Fate. I chose this hand because there are different paths you can take when you're dealt a hand like this, especially when you're playing from the small blind. Sometimes I choose to just call with a hand like this, especially if I'm playing a session where I haven't been 3-betting much, and I think that by 3-betting it, I would reveal that I have aces. If I'm the type of player who only 3-bets with aces, it will immediately put the other players on high alert and decrease my ability to play post flop. I decide in this situation that I am going to 3-bet, a lot because villain 3 decides to get in the pot, and my hand is too good. I want to build a pot as big as possible, and I'm delighted when villain number 2 decides to cap it, because I'm certain at this stage that I have the very best hand. So we see the flop. And while it isn't bad, it's generally a miss for us. We don't have a flush draw, and if we happen to turn a set, we're going to be in trouble because the wheel will be available, that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Somebody could easily have deuce 3 in their hand. That being said, I'm not really banking on turning a set, just simply because with 4 players calling 4 bets pre-flop, I expect that all the aces are otherwise occupied. So villain number 1 leads, and at this stage I choose to call instead of raising because it's looking like my hand only has a low potential. And if I was to check raise here, I'm not going to get any folds, I'm just going to build a pot. And because I now feel like I'm playing for half the pot, and if you've heard me rant about 08 before, you know that the key to the game is to have hands that are going to scoop the whole pot. So when I'm playing for half the pot, I tend to be a little bit more conservative. At this stage, I'm hoping to see an offsuit 3 on the turn to make my best hand a wheel, or really any low card that doesn't pair us to give us the nut low. As you know, the 2 of clubs comes on the turn, pairing our hand. This really is a devastating card for us, and when we're facing this bet, we decide to fold. With 3 other players in the pot, it's close to impossible for us to be winning the high. So we can look at my hand again. It's nearly impossible for a pair of aces to be winning the high. There's going to be hands with 2 pair. There's going to be possibility of a straight to the 6 or a wheel as it is. I have no low because I've been paired. And really my only hope in this hand would be hoping for the river to be a 3. But that would put 5, 4, 3, 2 on the board and would make at least probably 2 other players' wheels because I have 2 of the aces tied up. So despite the size of the pot, we're not going to send any more money into this pot. It would be sending good money after bad. I would, however, like this hand to be dealt to me a few more times. So, like I said, I choose to fold. Villain number 1 calls. The river's the 8 of clubs, and they choose to lead. At this stage, I assume villain number 1 has a hand like 6, 7. And I would have expected villain 3 to have ace 3 in their hand. But they just call, and the hands are revealed. So villain number 1 had flopped a set and made the nut straight. And while villain number 3 was betting his position, and the second nut low, they had 6, 5, 4, deuce, ace with the flush draw. So it was a great hand, aces double suited, but we had to let it go.